People of Earth, this is KRS channel. So today I'm going to be talking about astrology and your family members and how your family members are connected to astrology, and that meaning your relationship with your close family members. So in astrology, each planet represents a certain family member in your life, a certain person in your life. And when your planet is in good condition or bad condition, okay, depending upon those factors, that's how your relationship is going to be with those kind of people, okay? So let's do an example. Let's say in astrology, let me tell you first of all the family members are represented in astrology, okay? So sun represents your father, moon represents your mother, Mercury represents your sisters, Venus represents all the female in your life besides your siblings and your mom. So all the female, your acquaintances, girlfriends, wives, mistresses, playboy bunnies, everybody comes into this, okay, category. And then Mars represents your brother and your male friends, okay, just like Venus is representing the female friends and female counterparts. Saturn represents your maternal uncles and aunts. That's represented by Saturn. Ketu, the south node of the moon, represents your son. Like, you have a son and daughter, that's represented by Ketu. Rahu represents your in-laws, and a lot of people hate their in-laws. So you see the malefic nature of Rahu playing there. Okay, so these are the planets representing your family members. Now, how do you determine in astrology if one has good or bad relationship with their let's say father? So, and then also, I'm sorry, I forgot the most important planet, Jupiter. I always forget Jupiter. I don't know why. Okay, Jupiter represents your teachers, your professors, your guidance counselors, your teachers, gurus, anybody who advises you. Okay, so depending upon that, either you'll become a scholar or you can become a pickpocketer, because he too has a guru. He too had a teacher who taught him how to pickpocket in a subway. So these are the things represented by Jupiter. So how do you determine in astrology if one has good or bad relations with their father? So father represents by the sun. Now, depending upon how the condition of the sun is in your horoscope, that's how your relationship will be, which depends upon the placement of the sun, which house your sun is placed in, what sign it's placed in, what nakshatra it's placed in, what degree it's in, what directional strength it's having, like Digpala, okay, and what's it doing in the Nimansha chart. These are the things that you have to see to judge somebody's relationship with their father, okay? So let me quickly tell you how. Let's say if your sun is in the worst directional strength for the sun, which is the 4th house. Let's say your sun is there, okay? And let's say your sun is in the sign of Libra. It's delineated position, okay? And let's say your sun is at 10 degrees Libra, which is the worst, the most lowest point for sun to be in, okay? And it's in some bad nakshatra, okay? Let's say maybe it'll probably be in Venus or Saturn nakshatra, I believe, okay? So let's say if all these combinations are going, whoever has this kind of alignment, this is a basic analysis, this person is going to have bad relations with their father, or their father is going to be absent in their life, or they would never know who their father is, or their father would be traveling a lot and they will have minimal contact, minimal relations with the father. So it's not necessarily a bad relation. It could also be a restricted relations with the father. Okay, so in that case, we can, let's say, take Venus. That represents your wife, your girlfriend, your female acquaintances. Let's say your Venus is placed in a bad sign. Let's say in Scorpio, in the 6th house, okay? What is that doing? Venus is not very happy. It's not delineated in Scorpio, but it's not very happy because it's in the sign of its enemy Mars. And let's say Mars is aspecting Venus in the 6th house from the 3rd house. So what is happening with Venus is that all the females that are coming in your life, okay, especially co-workers, because Venus is in the 6th house of everyday life, your co-workers, your business life, your workday life. So you will run into a lot of females who have emotional problems especially regarding their mothers. Okay, because Scorpio is a sign of nourishment, like a motherly, like Cancer. Because Scorpios are very loyal, very attached. When when somebody breaks their heart, they are completely wiped out. For 6 months, if not more. But what Venus is doing is bringing the energies of women who want that nourishment, who want that love, so they're attracted to you more. So this is why you get pretty much mostly all the women who have bad relations with their mother or their father, and they have a little bit of psychological problem. Okay, so what happens is you run into a lot of arguments in the middle of a relationship. Come across coworkers who just had a fight with their mom and now they're taking it out all on you. Okay, so you run into these situations and you're trapped among these females. Okay, so this is how the planetary relationship works. And like I said, a lot of people don't get along with their in-laws. That's probably because Rahu has a malefic nature. It has a smoky nature. It wants to deceive people. It wants to do a shortcut to things. So that's how that's how your relationship happens too. Your relationship with your in-laws is based on illusion, because you call them mom and dad, but they're not really your mom and dad. It's just because of this legal binding that you have to respect them. You have to call them mom and dad. You have to do certain things even if you don't like them, and that builds up. They're like, oh my God, why am I respecting them? I don't like them, and that turns into this, sometimes actual family fights. So these are the things you have to remember in astrology, that in order to predict somebody's future, try to predict their past first. Okay, and I've been 95% of the time I've been able to predict that. Okay, your mom was absent in your life, you had a very restricted relations with your mother, or your mother passed away, or your brother is not in your life, you have bad relations with the siblings. And once I get the confirmation, then I know, okay, the time is right, what I'm predicting is right, what I'm about to tell them, they're gonna believe it because I'm able to predict their past. So these are the things you have. This is why astrology becomes so powerful, that once you know the method of looking at a chart, and one day I'm going to do a Vedic astrology chart, how to teach you guys that. It's the most simplest chart in the whole world. I can probably teach you that thing in like less than 5 minutes. What exactly is a Vedic astrology chart compared to any chart out there of astrology? So we'll do that video later. But once you know these things, astrology becomes fun, because you start to see, wow, how accurate astrology is, because you're able to predict somebody's relations, their past. You can also, I remember this client that I had 4 years ago. I don't do charts anymore, but 4 years ago that I was able to, she had Rahu and the moon, no, Rahu and Sun and Saturn in the 8th house in a certain nakshatra, and I asked her, were you ever sexually abused in your life in young age by either your maternal uncle or father and all that? And then she's confirmed, like, you know what, it was my mom's brother who did whatever when I was 6-7 years old, and since the moon was right next to Saturn and Rahu, and it was sitting with Mars, I knew she had an emotional trauma in her mind, because moon represents the mind. Okay, so she had a really bad relationship with the family members, because she kept fighting with her mom that, hey, how come you didn't do anything when I came to you, you didn't help me. So these things created problems with the mother, because moon represents mother, and moon was being hammed between all these malefic planets. Okay, so this is how I was able to predict more. I'm like, okay, so you don't have good relations with your mother due to the fact you must be questioning. She was like, yes, exactly right. And this is why this is not like some pseudoscience where a person comes in front of a globe and starts saying things, and you say, hey, prove it to me. How are you actually doing this? And so these are the method you use to a mathematical map of the planets on someone's horoscope. This is how you're able to predict and prove that, look, this is how astrology works. And go out there, do your own test. If you do not know, this is why, check out my link below. Go to my website. I have so many other tutorial videos on astrology telling you what astrology is. Look at them, study them. I've written the whole book on this, how to study, how to look at a chart, how to judge from a chart, how to start predicting small things from a chart. First, you start from small things. Don't try to see, okay, did this person was molested by their mom, dad, or no. You're not going to get that right away. Start predicting from small things, then go to the most complicated advanced things. So anyway, check out the link below and definitely subscribe above, because more knowledge and wisdom coming to you, earthlings. All right, thank you.